peaceful life. Then he had to service and once more strap on his guns in a fight for survival. He stayed serviced. He would not hunt out a fight, but God help those who came to him trouble hunting. As the Western saying goes, Smoke could point out dozens of his graveyards. Their coffee mugs refilled, Smoke sat back down at the table and they both sugared and stirred. Sally laid her hand on his. Roundup is all over in the cattle sold, right, honey? Yes, and it was a good one. We made money. Now we're rebuilding the herds, introducing a stronger breed, and mixing in some Herefords. What'd you have on your mind, Sally? I'd like to go with the children. She put a finger on his lips to stop his protests before they got started. But I'm not. I know what the doctor said, and I'm never going to set foot on a ship again. But if we stay here rattling around in this house, we'll both go crazy with worry. Let's wait until we receive the wire that the ship is steamed out, and then take a trip, just the two of us. That's a good idea. The boys can run the spread, no worries there. You got some special place in mind? Yes. It's a friend I went to college with. She and her husband just moved to Montana. They live near a small town about 30 miles from Kalispell. She's married to a doctor and they have a small ranch. I'd like to see her. She was my best friend. Suits me. We'll take a trip up there. It'll do us both good to get away, see some country, and meet new people. We'll take the train as far as it goes and then catch a stage. No. Sally shook her head. Let's put the horses in a car and ride in, Smoke. It'll be worth it to see the expressions on their faces when we ride in. Side saddle? He kidded her, knowing better. You have to be kidding. Smoke was with her. All right, honey, but we're going to be heading into some rough country. I've been there. Cousin Fay lives not too far from there. We can take the train probably to Butte. That's wild country, Sally. Some old boys up there still have the bark on. And that's Big Max Higgins' country. She smiled, but the curving of her pretty lips held no humor. That's one of the reasons we're going, Smoke. He laughed. I was wondering if you were going to get around to leveling with me. You know this Max Higgins? Only by name, we've never crossed trails. She stared into her coffee cup. Sally, this town your friends have settled near, it wouldn't be Hell's Creek, would it? Yes. Smoke sighed and leaned back in his chair. Then they didn't show a lot of sense. Hell's Creek is owned lock, stock, and outhouse by Big Max Higgins. It's filled with gunfighters, whores, gamblers, killers. You name it bad and you'll find it there. Why did they settle there? Robert, that's Vicky's husband, befriended an old man who took sick while visiting back east. Robert was just setting up his practice. Years later, he got a letter from an attorney telling him the old man had died and left him his ranch. And Big Max wanted the ranch. Yes, but mostly he wants Victoria. The next morning, Smoke rode into town and checked with Sheriff Monty Carson. What can you get me on Hell's Creek and a man named Big Max Higgins? Monty snorted. I can tell you all about Big Max, Smoke. We got leading each other about 10 years ago. Over near the Bitter Root. Monty nodded his head. I remember that shootout. Is there any kind of law in Hell's Creek? Only what Big Max says. Oh, there's a sheriff up there, but he's crooked as a snake's track, and so are his deputies. I hear the governor keeps threatening to send men in to clean up the town, but he hadn't done it yet. Why the interest in Hell's Creek? Sally has some friends who live near there. We're going to visit them. I'd sort of like to know what I'm riding into. You're riding into trouble, Smoke. Hell's Creek is a haven for outlaw gangs. In addition to Big Max's gang, and he's got 40 or 50 men who ride for him, there's Alex Bell and his boys. Dave Poe, Warner Frigo, and Val Singer all run outlaw gangs out of Hell's Creek.